Israel's faced with a moral dilemma against a strategic dilemma. The moral dilemma, of course, is to bring the hostages home, to make some sort of a deal and to get them out. At what price? As previous speaker said, that's a political decision. It's a strategic decision. Let's keep in mind the idea of at any price is certainly a legitimate demand by the families. The question is, does that narrow interest reflect the needs and the interests of the country? Let's remember that in the Shalit deal, over 1,000 terrorists were released, some of whom, like Sinwar, are instrumental in where we're sitting today. Was it worth it? Well, you could ask perhaps the families of the hostages today whether the Shalit deal was worth it. And I say that semi-facetiously because each situation has its own sort of categories or segments to it. So I'll say again, the families, I think, are doing absolutely the right thing from a moral point of view. And debate tactically whether going this way or that way toward the government, against the government, is the right thing, but that's not really the point. The government and the country have to make decisions based on national interests that include the hostages, but not exclusively. In terms of, is the fighting reaching a diminishing return? No, the fighting is reaching a narrowing. It's not on the scale that it was, although in Khan Yunis it's certainly still rather intense. Will stopping for a certain period of time change that? Any ceasefire for any length of time is an advantage to Hamas. How much so? The longer, the better for them. And of course, yes, Sinwar and Hania apparently are in some sort of conflict. Sinwar is feeling the pressure of the IDF much more than Hania is, for obvious reasons. Hania is in Qatar, and Sinwar is under the ground somewhere under Khan Yunis or Rafiah. But right now, they haven't agreed to it. So to a certain extent, we're debating with ourselves. We have to wait until Hamas says they're willing to accept or not willing to accept, or put up absolutely impossible demands that Israel can.
Major, you mentioned kind of this dilemma between the morality and strategic and tactical here. What are your thoughts perhaps on the hostage deal? Again, as you mentioned, we're kind of debating amongst ourselves. Nothing was agreed upon. And in fact, the actual terms haven't been agreed on, let alone agreeing on the document itself. But the idea of a deal coming together before the IDF opens up a major front on the Rafah area and to secure the Philadelphia crossing, to have a multi-week pause in fighting before the smuggling routes in and out of Egypt can be secured and checked. Would that be a mistake? Would it be worthwhile? Can you weigh the pros and cons there?
Once again, mistake or worthwhile is part of the strategic moral dilemma. It will certainly, if we come to some sort of an agreement to stop before we've secured the Philadelphia corridor, we're giving Hamas another breath of fresh air, a little more oxygen. If the IDF and Israel is permitted to resume the fighting, and the longer the ceasefire, the less likely that will be. It'll be that much more difficult to deal with Hamas, but not impossible. In other words, the IDF is going to defeat Hamas regardless. How many soldiers get killed in the process that wouldn't have otherwise? These are numbers that you can only speculate, but you can say with almost absolute certainty that the stronger Hamas is, the more casualties there are going to be on our side. So that's how it breaks down. Yeah. These are imponderables. Nobody has the precise equation to work out and say, X plus Y equals Z, and this is worth it or not.